Life isn't as it seems. Listen. Listen. Kindly, people. I'm not getting any younger. I'm getting a hell of a lot older. I'm sad for this world. I'm sad for this place. There's so much hate, anger, animosity towards people. My people. Our people. I'm not talking about race. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about the human aspect of people. We are being enslaved. And the only way to take back this enslavement is to get truth out there. The truth created by us, the people. I don't know what happens, or why it happens, or how we have allowed ourselves to become the hated. We've allowed it. Nobody else. Nothing spectacular. It just happens that we have allowed it. And we should be ashamed of ourselves. We are forced to send our kids to these education systems, these indoctrination systems, these trials and tribulations of hatred. It is a breeding ground for hate. They don't teach us. They tell us. They tell us what we're supposed to think. They tell us how we're supposed to think. And they tell us exactly what we are supposed to think. And none of it is right. Do you understand that? We have lost touch with humanity. They've taken it away from us. But they're losing. They are losing. Because everyday people are speaking up. Everyday people. This is the first time in history that people have been able to talk freely, back and forth, without prejudice. Do you understand that? That is being removed. They have sold us down the river. They have sold the internet to the UN. And if you agree with that, then do nothing. Simple. Do nothing. Because that's saying that you agree. But if you decide to do something about it, let me tell you, first of all, you will be ridiculed. You will be called nuts. You will be outside of the system. And it's a scary place to be sometimes. Believe me, I know. Been there, and I am there. Any day someone comes knocking at your door and they try and arrest you for how you think, what you feel. It happens. Trust me, it has happened to me. I do not incite any hatefulness. I do not incite people to do things that is wrong. I don't even consider the term legal or illegal, because those are man-made laws. They don't apply. None of those laws apply. Do you understand that? Those are a system of control. They're not your laws. They're not my laws. They are created laws by people who have been brainwashed. Simply brainwashed. They're taught to think a certain way. Oh, go out and get a job. Do your family proud. Go make money. Money. Well, I'm not asking for money. I don't want money. I don't give a shit about money. Money is irrelevant. That's one thing you have to learn. Money means nothing. People mean everything. As soon as you sell your soul for that, and believe me, that's what you're doing. You're selling your soul for this little tidbit, for this little piece, this fucking nothingness. Nothing. You get it? It's nothing. Do you understand what nothing is? It means that that debt, when you're given a birth certificate, you are in debt right away. You've been registered as a debt, but you're not a debt. They want you to think you're a debt. They want to think you're a burden because you don't have money. A burden because on what? On an imaginary thing. Imaginary. Do you understand that? It's pretend. It's pretend paper money. It doesn't exist. None of it. It exists. That's the first concept you have to get rid of. You go and you live your life. You live in this little bubble where as long as my life is okay, everything's okay. But do you think about people's whose lives are not okay? Do you? Do you consider anybody else's life? Ask yourself this because it's very important. Are you so afraid of authority? Authority? Whose authority? First of all, that's another thing you have to ask yourself. On whose authority? I live amongst a group of cannibals. And the cannibals love to eat human flesh. But I was brought up in that society. And as far as that society was concerned, it was okay. Then I moved away from that society and went up and started to live with a group of vegetarians. That society says, well, meat is a no-no. It's cannibalism. So you got these two societies, a cannibalistic society and a vegetarian society. But you're raised in one or the other. So you're taught right away to think negatively of that other society, just because they're taught to think negatively of this society. Does that make any sense? No, it makes no sense whatsoever. So the Chinese eat dogs. They eat rats. Lots of Africans and stuff eat bugs, because, that's what they live on. We live in a meat-eating society, so eating meat's okay. But who decides what is morally right or morally wrong? Come on, you do. You do. Don't be afraid, people. Don't be afraid. I used to be afraid. I used to be afraid of everything. I'm not afraid of anything now. You know why? Because the earth is fucking flat. As a fucking pancake. Do you understand that? Now, who's going to listen to me? I don't care. I really don't care. I'm just saying my own thoughts. They're my thoughts. They're given in my head. My head alone. Not yours. They're not portrayed by others. Yes, we go through life learning. We learn different things. But what I've learned is that we are all the same. The Queen shits. Obama shits. Rockefeller shits. Rothschild's shit. They all shit. Just the same as you or I. Their shit is no less smelly or no any cleaner than any of us. So don't ever forget that. They're equal. Get it? Equal. There's nobody above you. There's nobody below you. We are all equals. Do you understand? I hope you understand. Now, I could go on about living in this world in such a way that I could just waffle on. I could just waffle on, but I'm not going to. Let me show you something. Let me show you this.
Hi folks, my perspective here, and in this short video I'll be looking at perspective and angles in perspective and how this teaches us that the earth is actually flat. So even if the horizon was slightly curved, you would see objects on the horizon, whether it's a crane, a mountain, a tree. These would all be at different angles to you. So something closer would be at a different angle to an object that is further away. But this is not the case. We only ever see objects close and far as 100% vertical. This shows that the Earth is flat. So it doesn't matter whether you look to your left or to your right or behind you. We only ever see objects, no matter how big or small they are, as completely vertical. And this, we take this fact for granted in our paintings and in photographs. We only accept something on the horizon that is vertical, because this is the reality that we...
Now, as I was saying, and I'll continue on, I'll take breaks now and then. You can wander off, you can do what you want. It's your life. That's the whole point. It's your life. You do what you want. You're free to do what you want. You do not live under any constraints. You have free will. That's the beauty. You have free will to choose whether you pick up a gun and shoot somebody. That is the beauty. But morally, if you ask yourself, is it right to do that? You know damn well it's wrong. And since you know that is wrong, how come it's justified when you join the military all of a sudden it's okay to kill? No, use your head. Use your own head. Don't sit there being told this is for the good of country. Country. Fuck the country. Fuck the borders. They don't exist. There is one realm, and that's terra firma. Terra firma is our realm. We live in it. Now, how we live in this realm is it's hard to say how we live in this realm, because we're told how we're supposed to live in this realm. We're told that this is what goes on. Mainstream media owned by the controllers. The controllers own it, and you watch it. I was having a conversation, well, more like a one-sided conversation, where I showed that the fella who, I forget his name, Guy Loose something. Well, anyways, he used to own, he co-founded Cirque du Soleil. And he sold it for 1.37 billion. And he was a clown, and he went to space. Get it? He went to space. One of the elite's children went to space. And people believe it. And he's got a book. And people believe the shit in his book. Because he called them photos. Photos from space. Can you believe that? I mean, NASA doesn't have photos from space. They have these funny little paintings, get it? That they show the people, but they've never been to space. There's no such fucking thing. There's no satellites. They don't exist. You're told they exist, yet there's supposed to be thousands of the fucking things up there. There isn't. Look for yourself. Look in the night sky. Thousands. Thousands. Get it? Thousands. Do you feel motion? You know, when I'm on a boat or a ship and it's rocking, side to side, side to fucking side, I feel that motion. I feel every little bit of that motion. You're telling me that we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour? Here, let me show you something. Let me show you something. I'll show you what 1,000, well, actually it's only about just over 700 miles an hour looks like. So have a look. Watch. Ready? Watch.
This is it.
So now that you've seen that little clip, what do you think? Wonderful, isn't it? Then we're told that the horizon, they tell us that a ship sails out to sea and we see the bottom of it disappear. Yet, if you get a camera, a zoom lens, you can zoom right back in on it. Isn't that amazing? Fucking amazing. The sun, the setting sun. Before I talk about the setting sun, let me just show you about the boat. Let's look at a few little clips of ships, shall we? Yeah, let's look. Okay, now what? We've looked at the little ships and they get pulled right back into view, right from the fucking bottom up. Amazing, amazing. But let's look at the sun. Oh, the sun, the beautiful sun, our beautiful sun. That is 93 million miles away. Let's look at it now. What do you see? Well, they focus back in on it, and guess what? It rises above the fucking horizon. Can you see that? Life is just a fucking fantasy, isn't it? Yeah, and they want us to believe that. What else can we look at? Let's look at, oh, I know. Let's look at some high altitude balloon footage. That is brilliant, isn't it? So let's have a look and check out the sun hotspots on there. Oh, 93 million miles away, yet it produces a local hotspot. Local. Get that? Local. Get used to that word, because these are all local. All these incidences are local. They're not 93 million fucking miles away. So, okay. So we've got that. We've got that the sun just, rises back above the horizon after you zoom in. Oh, bloody amazing, isn't it? So let's look at, I know. I know. Let's look at some NASA stuff.
Well, it was the 1980s, so the music was different, the hairstyle was different, the clothes we wore were different than today, but probably in 5 or 10 years it'll be the same. And in school, I was just like you, probably all of you there. I tried my best. I didn't always succeed, didn't always do well, but I put my best effort into school. Math and science were kind of my favorite subject. I didn't really like English and reading too much, but I've since grown out of that, and I enjoy reading now. And I played a lot of sports. And all of that happened in a little town called York, Maine, across the United States from where we're talking to you right now.
Any one of you lily-livered, bow-legged varmints care to slap leather with me? In case any of you get any ideas, you better know who you're dealing with.
Called York, Maine, across the United States from where we're talking to you right now.
North, south, east, and west.
Called York, Maine, across the United States from where we're talking to you right now.
Ooh, you darn crazy galoot!
Called York, Maine, across the United States from where we're talking to you right now.
Why, you doggone crazy idiot!
Logical issues.
All right, don't rush me. I'm a-thinking.
Logical issues.
Friggin' terracotta slaughter and a berry corn.
Logical issues.
That dirty Turkish harkaback flatten Thornton Philip Martin Perkaluma.
Logical issues.
Well, where is he? Where's the critter at? What's up, Jack? Great horny toads! What are you doing down there upside downy?
I'm not upside down, Doc. You are. Look.
Ah, I love NASA. NASA's my favorite. Fucking Nazis. Anyways, I'm going to swear during this. This is not a video for kids because it is actually definitely a video for kids, and I'm sorry for the swearing, but it has to be said. So we've looked at NASA, we've looked at sunspots, we've looked at bullshit horizon. Oh, I know. Somebody, what is it, on Shill Stoppers. They've done a wonderful little comparison side by side. Don't forget, the windows are squashed together, so the video on the left, the horizon's, a little exaggerated by twice as much, because if you stretch it out, it's a little bit less, but still, you're on top of a fucking ball. Everyone is on top of the ball. You're always on top of the ball. What's going to happen when you jump up off the ball? The horizon's going to drop. It is not going to keep rising up to eye level, no matter what anybody tells you. So let's look at that.
Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I do not do that thing.
There we go. Oh my God. Did you look at that? I looked at it. Here, I'm going to look at it right now. Oh, it just makes you laugh. Life just makes you laugh.
So let's have a look at angles in perspective. We know that horizontal lines are always horizontal, no matter how near something is or how far away it is. The same applies to the angle lines. They stay the same angle. If I move this fence over, in true linear perspective, those angle lines would stay the same angle. And if I had to put a crane on the horizon, the angles would be the same. So it's not about size, it's about angles. And that's why it's so easy to trick the human eye. We assume if something's bigger, it's closer. But we know, for example, this crane is further away from our perspective. And the angle stays the same. So perspective is not about size, it's about angles. And our brain and our eye, the human brain and our eye and our reality is built on what we see. We see with our eyes, and our whole understanding and the world we live in is flat. As we look out all around us, we have a limited line of sight. We see almost as if in a ring around us, and above us, below us. But the angles stay the same from our perspective. And this can only work if the plane, the floor we are on, is flat. This is reality. We're living in a flat earth. That's how our brain and our eyes are wired. So as you look around you, ships, buildings, from your perspective, everything is always completely vertical. Nothing falls over, no matter how far away it is from you. And your limited line of sight in a circle around you, in that line of sight, everything is completely vertical. Now let's look at the angle of light. If you're on a spinning ball, the sun would be in front of you. Then as you turn, your angle would be across the face of the sun. So what does that mean? Well, you're on a spinning ball fixed, look at the arrowhead. Watch carefully. See, the sun would actually rise slowly, speed up in the day, and set slowly. Watch that again. But this is not the case. No matter where you are, the sun travels at the same speed. So you are not spinning on a ball, the sun is moving, and you are fixed. You are standing still. Let's look at that even deeper. Two people, one at the equator, one at the North Pole, taking a time-lapse image of the sun. For them, the sun would be traveling at different speeds. But this is not the case. No matter where you are, the sun travels at the same speed. This shows that we're not on a spinning ball. Now let's look at the shadow and the angles of your shadow. If you're on a spinning ball and you're in the north, your shadows will only ever face north. And if you're in the south, your shadows will only ever face south. And every 6 months, because you're at the same 23.4 degree angle, the sun would be on the opposite side. So night, morning and sunset should swap over every 6 months. And they don't. Because we're not on a spinning ball. Now look at this image. Look at the angle of the sun's rays. Look carefully. Now if we take this image and we spread it out into 3D space, look at the angles. We spread it out. This tells us that the sun is not 150 million kilometers away. Because how can it light up? Look at the angles at the back. Look at the angles of the light on the mountains. The sun is above the mountains. How can the angle of the sun light up the same valley, and the light is at two different angles in the same valley? Really? So this is what we see in real life. You're standing still, the sun is moving overhead, it's giving us those extreme angles, and as it moves overhead and it moves away from you, remember it's on the horizon now. That's how you can get those angles of sunlight on the horizon, because it's not 150 million kilometers away, it's above the clouds. So what they teach us is that you and the clouds are actually spinning together, and the sun's rays are standing still, because you are moving through those rays. You can see this is ridiculous. This is mindless garbage. This is not what we see. So let's look at this image. At the top you have the human eye. You see everything at eye level, but you have a limited range into the horizon. You see the horizon at eye level. So if I take my video camera or my stills camera and I put on a zoom lens, I can extend my vision into the horizon, further in, but the horizon is still at eye level. And if I put on a huge telescopic lens, I can see even further, but the horizon stays at eye level. So what's the point of having zoom lenses if the horizon is curved? Because you wouldn't be able to see around the curve. So the issue is, humans have a problem judging distance with perspective. We find it difficult. So look at the top image. You see a ship. You know that the ship's not far away. And you see the moon. You think, well, that moon is 400,000 kilometers behind the ship. But yet it's in focus to your human eye. How is it possible? So now you take your camera out, you put on a big zoom lens, and you pull the focus. So you focus in the tree, and you do a couple of turns, and now you focus on the clouds behind the tree. And the ship's in focus, and the clouds are in focus. And now you only give a slight turn, and the moon's in focus. How is this possible? Because the moon should be 400,000 kilometers behind the clouds. Well, the fact that you only have to focus a smidgen on your focus ring, and the clouds, and you can pull the focus from the clouds to the moon, tells you that the distance between the moon and the clouds is very short. This is a simple fact. The reality is that we are living in an illusion, maintained by NASA, maintained by the media. The more we drink the illusion, the more dizzy we get, the more power they have over us. So if you had any delusions that you were something special, well, there's a status check for you.